Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today my friend and I will present a case study about skill analysis, which is penalty shoot in futsal that we have done. Before I start, I want to introduce myself. My name is Muhammad bin SHABANI from RSR 2453A.
My name is HAZIQ bin ANUAR.
My name is AIDIL ZUHAIRI bin AZMI.
My name is ASHRUL bin RAHIM, and my matric number is 2020997405.
Hi, my name is MOHD bin AZIZ. My number matric is 2020949467.
My name is Muhammad HAIKAL ISKANDAR bin SAAD from Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation of UiTM RAHIM.
There are a few phases such as preparatory phase, action phase, follow through phase in skill analysis. In our case study, we will show you the correct technique and then speed calculation for athlete and non-athlete, Newton's law, and mechanical behavior. So I will pass to my friend to explain the next.
Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is HAZIQ bin ANUAR. I'm from RSR 2453A. Alright, now I will explain about the preparatory phase shooting in futsal. There is a 4 position in this phase, which is the anterior position, the posterior position, the left lateral left position, and the right lateral right position. From the angle of the anterior position, as you can see, the athlete leg is more narrow than the non-athlete, which is the athlete at 23 degree and non-athlete at 29 degree. So as you can see, the athlete position is more ready, while the non-athlete is a bit unready position to kick the ball. And then as you can see, the muscle that been using at this position is bicep, soleus, quadricep, and hamstring, while the joint that using at this position is condyloid joint, gliding joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint, and gliding joint. So from this point of view, athlete position is more stable than the non-athlete. Okay, next is at the posterior position. As you can see, from the posterior position, the athlete body is a bit lean forward than the non-athlete, which is the athlete is a bit ready for shooting the ball, and the non-athlete is a bit unready and not focusing on the ball. Okay, while the muscle that been using at this position is tricep, plantaris, gluteus maximus, hamstring, and soleus, while the joint is hinge joint at the elbow, condyloid joint at the wrist, ball and socket at the hip, and hinge at the knee, and gliding joint at the ankle. So as you can see, same as the anterior position, which is the angle of the athlete leg is a bit narrow than the non-athlete angle. Okay, alright. Next is the lateral right position. So from this point of view, as you can see, athlete angle is much lesser than the non-athlete, which is the athlete angle is at 45 degree, while the non-athlete is 62 degree. This is because the athlete is more focusing on the ball and the goal post, while the non-athlete is focusing on the ball only. So the athlete is more ready than the non-athlete. Next, as you can see, the body of the athlete is a bit lean forward than the non-athlete, which is the athlete is at 147 degree and the non-athlete is 156 degree. So athlete body is a bit lean forward because he wanted to run forward and be ready, while the non-athlete is a bit unready and look at a comfort standing zone. So at this position, the joint that involved, which is the condyloid joint at the wrist, gliding joint at the ankle, and hinge joint at the knee. Alright, next is the lateral left position. This position same like the lateral right position, but as you can see in the picture, the athlete standing point is a bit uncenter from the ball, while the non-athlete is center to ball. This is because the athlete wanted to have some speed and distance during shooting the ball, while the non-athlete is just more to kicking the ball. Alright, next is the angle of the eye of the athlete. As you can see, is the angle is 45 degree. This is because the athlete is more focused on the ball and the goal post, while the non-athlete is 40 degree only because he only focus more on the ball. So the muscle that involved in this position, which is tricep, soleus, gluteus maximus, and quadricep, while the joint that involved in this position is hinge joint, condyloid joint, and gliding joint.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AIDIL ZUHAIRI bin AZMI. So we move to the next phase, is the action phase. Firstly is the anterior position. So from the anterior position, the angle between the legs for athlete is wider compared to non-athlete. This is because of the position of the athlete is ready to kick the ball, while the position of non-athlete is his legs are very close and the power that will produce is less compared to the athlete to kick the ball. So the muscle that involved in this position are soleus, deltoid, hamstring, and quadricep, while the joints that involved in this position are gliding joint, condyloid joint, hinge joint, and ball and socket. So the position of athlete is more focused to the angle of the goal post to give more power, while the non-athlete is more focused to the center of the goal post. Next is the posterior position. So for the posterior position, the angle of the armpit for athlete is more compared to non-athlete because the position of athlete is more stable when the athlete runs to kick the ball, while the position of non-athlete is not stable. So the muscles involved in this position are deltoid, soleus, hamstring, and popliteus. And the joints that involved in this position are hinge joint, gliding joint, and ball and socket joint. The position of athlete is more stable and will get more momentum compared to the position of non-athlete. Next is lateral right position. From the lateral right position, the angle between the legs for athlete is wider compared to the non-athlete because the position of athlete have momentum to kick the ball, while the position of non-athlete is his leg are very close and the power will produce is less compared to the athlete to kick the ball. So the muscle that involved in this position are bicep brachii, popliteus, gastrocnemius, gluteus maximus, hamstring and quadriceps. And the joints that involved in this position are gliding joint, hinge joint and ball and socket. The position of athlete has more momentum to give more power to the ball, while the non-athlete is more focused to the center of the goalpost. And the last one is lateral left position. This position is quite same to the previous. So the lateral left position, the angle between the legs for athlete is more compared to non-athlete because the position of athlete is more stable when he kicks the ball, while the position of non-athlete is unstable and the force that he will use to kick the ball is less. The angle at the eyes of the athlete is wider than the non-athlete because the athlete focus on the goalpost and aiming the ball to enter the goalpost, while non-athlete just focus on kicking the ball without looking at the goalpost. The muscles that involved in this position are bicep brachii, quadriceps, soleus and hamstring, while the joint that involved in this position is hinge joint, condyloid joint, gliding joint and ball and socket. That's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. Okay, my name is MUHAMAD bin Abdul Rahim and my matric number is 2020997405. Okay, for follow-through movement for both athlete and non-athlete, they are very different. So, as we can see from the anterior position, that is, the athlete have a great body posture more than the non-athlete. This is because the non-athlete did not fully extend his leg like what the athlete did, which is his main leg to once hit the ball and to be fully extend the leg forward. So next is from the posterior position, we can see that the athlete hyperextend his left arm backside, which is to make sure that his leg can be fully swing after the hit. But the non-athlete maintaining his body posture, which is once he hit the ball and his leg stay there, maintain, and his arm also stay below. He did not hyperextended his hand, his arm. Okay, and for both left and right lateral position, we can see that the athlete also lift and straightening his supporting leg, which is the standing leg. He lift his leg and to reduce some weight from his body, which is can avoid him from injury. But this can be seen for the trained athlete, but for the non-athlete, his supporting leg will be on the ground and stay there, and he might be flex his knees a little bit like this shape, because he did not know the full technique of kicking the ball. So for the follow through phase, we can see that the muscle involved are hamstring, quadricep, bicep, tricep, soleus and gluteus maximus. And for the joint, they are involved in this movement, which is ball and socket joint, gliding joint, hinge joint and condyloid joint. So that is for the follow through movement. So I will go to the next presenter.
Okay, thank you. My name is Muhammad Ifan bin Abdul Aziz. I will be the next presenter. So I will present you about the correct technique to shooting penalty in football. So first is place the ball by yourself. Do not let the referee, goalkeeper or any kind of player, any kind of other player to put your ball. Please do it by yourself, because you are the one who is to kick the ball. So if you do by yourself, so you can check the grass if there's any of rock, stick or uncomfortable condition. So you can place the ball by yourself and do it by yourself with a good condition. Next, take 2 or 4 steps backward from the ball that you place. Then continue with one side to your non-kicking foot. So you can shoot, running and shoot from there. So make sure it's not too far or too close to the ball. It's depend on your comfortable. Next, focus on yourself. Don't look to the keeper. Just focus on yourself, not to listen of any other opponent that they saying. You just focus and then you can do it. 4, pick a spot to aim and stick to it. So this means target the spot that whenever comfortable to you to shoot, to kick the ball. So remember, don't change your decision at the last minute. When you are confident to shoot at the spot, just go on. Penalty is that we call 70% we can make a goal. So believe on yourself. 5, run toward the ball as you want to kick the ball. 6, place your non-kicking foot next to the ball. If you shooting leg is right, so place your left foot next to the ball, beside the ball, so you can kick with your right foot easily, like this ball. Yeah. 7 is kick the middle of the ball. Okay, this is the ball. There's 3 points of the ball: top, middle and bottom. So if you kick the top of the ball, the point, so your shooting is not go for a maximum power, so it's maybe a slow ball. If you kick at the middle, so you can control the ball, not too high and not too low. But if you shooting with a bottom ball, bottom point of the ball, so maybe your ball is going too far high, so make sure you kick the center of the ball. It means the middle of the ball. Number 8, strike the ball with the lace of your shoes and to get more powerful of shooting. So yes, so shoot. Whenever you shoot the ball, make sure you shoot inside of the ball, inside of your leg, like this. For professional player, they might use inside or outside foot, or maybe the top of your toes. So it's, for me, for the basic shooting in football is inside of your leg, like this, like this. The last step is follow through. So when you're kicking the ball, just follow through your kicking, but make sure slowly unlock your ankle, like this. Unlock. If you lock the ankle, if you don't unlock the ankle, so your ball might be like this, and the ball will go to the sky, maybe out of stadium, we don't know, but I mean it's go higher, not to the goal. So with all this steps, I'm sure that everybody know that penalty is the easy goal that we can score, but the confidence is so hard to find. So practice make perfect. So just practice penalty. You can do it by yourself. Thank you. I'm Muhammad Irfan. I'll pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad HAIKAL Iskandar bin Saad from Faculty of Sports Science and Recreation of UiTM Arau Perlis. Okay, now I would like to continue the presentation, which is the speed for an athlete and non-athlete. The speed of an object tells you how fast or slow it's moving. The faster something moves, the greater the distance it covers in a given time, or the less time it takes to cover a given distance. The both distance travel for the ball to a goalpost for the athlete and non-athlete is 5.7 meter, and for the athlete the time taken for the distance travel is 0.46 second. So distance travel divided by time taken, for the distance travel will get 12.40 meter per second for the speed of the athlete to shoot the ball. And then for the distance travel for the ball to a goalpost for non-athlete is same like an athlete. For non-athlete, the time take for the distance travel is 0.90 second. So the distance travel divided by time taken for distance travel will get 6.33 meter per second for the speed of the non-athlete to shoot the ball. Okay, next I would like to proceed with the next slide, which is the mechanical behavior in futsal. There are four mechanical behavior of bodies in contact. For the first is friction. Friction is the resistance to motion of one object moving relative to another. It is not a fundamental force like gravity or electromagnetism. Instead, the scientists believe it is the results of the electromagnetic attraction between charged particles into touching surfaces. For example, when the player shooting the ball, friction will prevent the ball from going forward forever when it is kicked. The ball rubs against the ground, which causes resistance and slows the ball down. Okay, next. For the second is the momentum. Momentum is on the move and is going to take some effort to stop. A team that has a lot of momentum is really on the move and is going to be hard to stop. Momentum is a physics term. It refers to the quantity of motion that an object has. A sport team that is on the move has the momentum. If an object is in motion on the move, then it has momentum. For example, when a soccer player kicks a ball, they transfer his momentum to the ball. Momentum is the velocity of the object times its mass. Okay, next, for the third mechanical behavior in futsal is impulse. Impulse is a term that quantifies the overall effect of a force acting over time. It is expressed in Newton's seconds. Example, a player make a direct connection between how a force acts on an object over time and the motion of the object. And lastly, for the last of the mechanical behavior in futsal, in shooting, the most typical important collision is that of the ball impact during shooting. Coaches and players believe that to manipulate the foot and the ball motion during ball impact is an essential task to produce a faster resultant ball velocity and also a precise ball flight path. For example, type of collision between the foot and the ball during shooting. That's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter to continue the presentation. Thank you.
Okay, I will explain you about the Newton law. There are two laws we have in Newton law. The first one is law of inertia. Law of inertia means a body or object will maintain a state of rest or constant velocity unless there is an external forces that change the state. So in the penalty shoot, the ball will remain to be static on the mark before kicking. So when the player kick the ball, which means the external force happen, the ball will move forward and change the static ball into moving ball in velocity. For the second law is law of acceleration. This law is an acceleration relationship between the force, mass and acceleration. In futsal sport, this law will happen when the player kick the ball into the goal post. The acceleration is depend to force that apply from the external force. In the video, we can see the athlete give more amount of forces when the athlete take more angle compared to non-athlete. So the ball go more faster. For the conclusion, shooting in futsal is one of the difficult skill that need more training a lot to be a perfect shooting. The coach of developing players should heavily emphasize technical training while also having a basic understanding of correct technical execution. The coach need to conduct training sessions that involve repetition but are not boring or tedious. That's all from us. Thank you.